Here's Mike Huckabee on his ABC broadcast about me in response to me.
Well, this week, Glenn Beck has taken to his radio show to attack me as a progressive, which he said is the same as a cancer and a Nazi. Now, just what did I do that apparently caused him to link me to a fatal disease in a form of government that murdered millions of innocent Jews?
Yeah,
I had the audacity, not of hope, but the audacity to give respect to the efforts of First Lady Michelle Obama's Let's Move campaign that addresses childhood obesity.
Well, I know that.
Look, I'm no fan of her husband's policies, for sure, but I have appreciated her efforts that Beck misrepresented, either out of ignorance or out of a deliberate attempt to distort them to create yet another booger bear hiding in the closet that he and only he can see.
Okay, so wow. Let's just take this part piece by piece here. First of all, Mr. Huckabee, I did not realize that I had called all progressives Nazis. That is weird. I have said Nazis have used progressive tactics. You should read Bernays, Lippmann. If you don't believe me, read Goebbels. He talks about it in his diaries. It's weird. The only place that I've ever heard that kind of a smear is on George Soros's website of Media Matters. Interesting how you would go to Media Matters talking points when you feel like it would benefit you, Mr. Huckabee. I've never said progressive is the same as Nazi, so let's not try to twist this into me accusing you of killing millions of Jews. Or are you again trying to co-opt a George Soros program? And maybe you could be added to the list of rabbis that are boycotting this show as they twist my words. In the same monologue, I compared Mike Huckabee progressivism to John McCain. Now, while I wasn't a huge fan of Mr. McCain, I wound up voting for the guy. So I clearly don't consider progressives Nazis. Unless you're taking the talking points from MSNBC, where anyone who has my point of view is a Nazi. I have said the progressive movement is a cancer to this nation, and it is. But I was talking about the movement, the ideology in general as it relates to a bigger government, not a specific person being an actual disease. Was it really that confusing to you, Mr. Huckabee? By the way, let us all know how you feel, and if you feel differently about progressivism. I think that would be a case that you would like to make, I'm sure, and I'm sure the Republican primary voter would like to hear it. I know I would. As for Mike Huckabee's support of the big government intrusion that Michelle Obama is spearheading, you can appreciate her efforts all you like, Mike. That's great. But it's not conservative. It's not a small government position if you do. It's not anything that a libertarian would understand. I have never misrepresented her effort. It is simply not the business of government to involve themselves in what my children or your children eat at home or at school. It is a parental responsibility. It is simply a progressive idea to believe that parents cannot take care of their children adequately. That's progressives. The government must interfere. I don't believe that's their job. But apparently you do. And remember, it's not just a series of food recommendations, Mr. Huckabee. Not anything of the sort. Yes, it does recommend them. We counted. Recommends 70 different ideas to manage the food you eat. Everything from how much you breastfeed your children to which foods you should be able to be advertising and to which audiences. They also analyze the effect of state and local sales taxes on less healthy, energy-dense foods. I wonder why anyone would want to do that. Or how about Michelle Obama's recommendation about companies not advertising to children? She claims that we should only revisit the federal laws that tell companies where they can advertise their products if voluntary efforts to limit the marketing of these less healthy foods and beverages to children do not yield substantial results. That's nice. Or how about this small government nugget? Here's what Huckabee says about Michelle Obama's plan. That the First Lady's approach is all about personal responsibility, not the government literally taking candy from the baby's mouth. Well, really? Here's USA Today describing the exact law you praised. Quote, it gives the USDA the authority to set nutritional standards for all foods regularly sold in schools during the school day, including all vending machines. You heard that right. The federal government managing your local school's vending machines. The Obama Huckabee approach to nutrition is basically taking candy out of children's mouths. Now, to the line about my attempt to create another boogeyman or booger man. Booger bear? Booger. Yeah. I've never heard that one. Bear. It might be a southern thing. Create yet another booger bear hiding in the closet that I, and only I, can see. This is quite possibly one of the most revealing things about your progressivism. It's very interesting. What other, as he says in his blog, boogeyman, or on the air, booger bear, am I only seeing, Mr. Huckabee? Could it be the communist revolutionary booger bear Van Jones that wasn't in a closet? He was in the White House. Also, quite a few others saw him there, and he was finally removed. Surely you can't mean the booger bear of the anti-capitalist, Mao-loving manufacturing czar, Ron Bloom. Or how about the socialist former climate czar, Carol Browner? Is she the booger bear? Or Marxist wealth redistribution supporters like Medicare head Donald Berwick? Is he a boogeyman or a boogie bear? Science czar John Holdren, or the president's Marxist spiritual advisor Jim Wallace? How about Cass Sunstein or George Soros? No boogeymen in the closet there, because they're all wide out in the open. Which one do you think which one of these guys do you think is good for America? Again, please, Mr. Huckabee, make that case. I understand the accusations of me finding boogeymen when I am talking to people like George Soros, or when it comes from, the left, because they're funded by George Soros. Why would you defend George Soros or any of those that I have exposed? Or maybe it was a few other boogeymen or booger bears. Mr. Huckabee, we'll continue this discussion next. Okay. During his tenure, state spending increased. During his tenure, spending increased by 65.3%. The number of state workers in the government rose by 20%. The state's general obligation debt shot up almost by $1 billion. He wants a sales tax on internet goods. This is big government progressivism. It's not Barack Obama, but it is progressivism nonetheless. Huckabee has bragged many times that he has cut taxes 94 times while in office, and that is absolutely true. And let me give you some of the cuts. They included exempting residential lawn care from the sales tax, reducing taxes on bets made at Southland Greyhound Park, and exempting Arkansas Symphony Orchestra purchases from the sales tax. Now, as a conservative, there's nothing I appreciate more than getting a break on my garden hoe and symphony tickets all on the same day. The fact is, during his time as governor, taxes increased 47% overall. On immigration, while he has always said, secure the border first, which I appreciate and wholeheartedly agree on, he has also supported scholarships for illegal alien children while attending college, something U.S. citizens from other states do not enjoy. Then there's the issue of the 1,058 pardons and commutations for criminals in the Arkansas prison system. I realize that he is a Christian man. He is a pastor, and he believes in second chances, as do I. If it wasn't for a second chance, and if it wasn't for the saving grace of Jesus Christ, I wouldn't be here today. But we leave justice to the justice system, not to a governor. One of those he commuted, Maurice Clemens, went on several years after his commutation to kill 4 police officers in Washington state before he killed himself. Huckabee said in an interview with Bill O'Reilly that he wishes he would have known 9 years earlier what this man was capable of. Yeah. That's why you don't pardon one criminal every 4 days while in office, because you just don't know. So to answer the issue Huckabee raised in his attack on me, no, I'm not creating yet another boogeyman or booger bear, whatever that may be, in the closet. There are some really tough issues that real conservatives will have with Mike Huckabee. But look, Mike, I want to point out, as a guy who has been in this battle now as well, and has had every gun turned on me from the right and the left, it only gets tougher from here. If, sir, you are this thin-skinned about your politics, it might be best for you to stay on the sidelines, maybe with Michelle Obama, and not enter this race. The last thing we need is someone challenging Barack Obama, not as president of the United States, but challenging Barack Obama for his title as the most thin-skinned president in American history.